No one expected the tiny hamster to survive, not in the wild, not after 2 full months alone, not with an injured leg and no food bowl to rely on. But sometimes, even the smallest creatures carry the biggest will to live. And this story, well, it's about love, loss, and a bond that time or even to long months couldn't break. It all started on a quiet spring afternoon, when Mia returned home from school. She was 13, kind-hearted, and had always taken care of her little hamster, Pipsqueak, like he was her own child. His cage sat right beside her bed, always clean, filled with fresh bedding and his favorite seed mix. Every day, she would open the little gate and let him explore her room under supervision. That day was no different except for one moment. A door creaked open, a gust of wind from an open window, and in a flash, Pipsqueak was gone. Panic erupted in the house. Mia and her parents searched every inch under the bed, behind the closet, inside shoes, behind bookshelves. They placed little food piles and sunflower seeds in the corners of each room, hoping he'd come back. But nothing. Days passed, then weeks. Hope began to dim. Mia cried herself to sleep many nights. She blamed herself. "I should have shut the door," she whispered, clutching the tiny hamster wheel in her hands like a memory. The house felt emptier, quieter. But somewhere out there in the walls, in the crawl space, or perhaps beyond the back door, Pipsqueak was surviving. Weeks turned into a month, then 2, and just when it seemed like Pipsqueak had disappeared forever, a neighbor made a call. It was a rainy Sunday morning when Mr. Dobson, the old man who lived 2 blocks down, spotted something unusual on his back porch. A tiny, ragged creature huddled near a flower pot, barely breathing, soaked from the rain. It looked like a small rat, but it wasn't. It was a hamster, limping, shivering, barely alive. He gently scooped it into a towel and placed it inside a cardboard box with some lettuce. Later that afternoon, he posted on a neighborhood app, asking, "Anyone missing a hamster?" Mia's mom saw the post by chance. Her heart stopped. Could it really be him? They rushed over with a small travel cage. The moment Mia saw the little creature, now skinny, scruffy, and missing patches of fur but with the same beady black eyes, she burst into tears. "Pipsqueak," she whispered. The little hamster turned its head weakly toward the sound. It couldn't move much. Its leg looked twisted, one paw swollen, but in that second, something clicked. He recognized her scent, her voice. Home. The vet confirmed that Pipsqueak had suffered a fracture in his hind leg and had likely been living off scraps, bugs, and whatever he could find in the gardens and backyards. He was malnourished and dehydrated but, miraculously, still alive. The vet called it nothing short of a miracle. Mia spent the next few weeks nursing him back to health. She ground up seeds into soft powder and fed him with a tiny syringe. She wrapped him in fleece and played gentle music. Every time he squeaked, she smiled. Every time he struggled to move, she helped. Love filled every corner of the room again. And slowly, he healed. The swelling went down. His fur began to grow back. He even started running on his wheel again, slowly at first, then faster, with that same playful spirit Mia remembered. The bond between them was deeper than before. He wasn't just her pet anymore. He was her fighter, her survivor, her tiny hero. Pipsqueak had been through something unimaginable, and yet, he came back. Not just physically but emotionally, spiritually, the connection remained. People from the neighborhood began messaging the family, asking for updates. Photos of Pipsqueak resting in Mia's hands went viral locally. The miracle hamster, they called him, and indeed, he was. But there was one moment that captured it all. One night, just before bed, Mia sat beside Pipsqueak's cage and opened the little gate again for the first time in over 2 months. He looked at her, twitched his whiskers, and crawled out slowly. He climbed into her lap and nestled under her hand. And there, with her arms wrapped around him gently, she whispered, "I'm so sorry you had to go through that, but I'm so glad you came home." He squeaked softly, his eyes closing peacefully. This wasn't just a story of a pet being found. It was a story about never giving up on someone you love, even when it feels hopeless, about forgiveness, survival, and the invisible threads that tie hearts together. Mia learned that even when the world feels heavy, even when you think you've lost something forever, sometimes, life gives you one more chance, one more miracle. Pipsqueak didn't just survive, he reminded everyone that the smallest creatures can carry the loudest hearts. That love, when nurtured, can echo across walls, rainstorms, and time. He spent the rest of his days cozy, loved, and safe, surrounded by warmth, music, and the girl who never forgot him. And every time Mia heard his little feet tapping on the wheel, she smiled, because against all odds, he came back.